Hello everyone, and welcome back to Technically Unsure, where I'm not really sure what I'm doing technically.
What am I doing?
Okay. So today I'm going to unbox and show you guys two motherboards that I found again on AliExpress, and the price was crazy. So I really don't know what to expect here, but unbelievable price. So I really don't know what to expect from this motherboard and CPU and RAM combo. Actually, let me show you what I'm talking about. So I found these two motherboards on AliExpress. Okay, so QIYIDA, I guess, and ENVINDA. Yes, that's the name. Okay, I'm gonna introduce to you guys to these two motherboards. So this one, QIYIDA, I bought this one motherboard and CPU bundle. It did not have the RAM bundle available at this one I was ordering, and this one was CPU, motherboard, RAM. Like, this should be full computer price. This is with no RAM, $47. Yeah, it's $47. And this one with CPU and motherboard and RAM, I paid $63. It does have one bundle that is just motherboard and CPU. That's $52. Yeah, so we are going to open these two, and I'm going to set everything up for both. We're not going to do those, the usual rat's nest with a lot of SATA stuff, because that's not the point of these two. As you can see, born for games, they claim. So we're gonna see how much of that is true. All right, so I guess let's go with this box. Doesn't matter really, but I'm just gonna open on this one up, and this is what I got. That's nothing. It's the SATA cable, and these screws are for probably the cooler. So okay, that's a tiny, it's a small motherboard. Okay, I'm gonna hold. Yeah, and the IO shield. Okay, so this bad boy is the QIYIDA one, right? Yeah. So in terms of IO, you see there is the audio jack, audio stuff, gigabit Ethernet, 2 USB 3 and 4 USB 2, and a PS2. That's it. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 RAM slots and a single PCIe X16 slot. Oh, there's another one. Sorry. So this one is PCIe 2. Yeah. So this one is definitely not X16. We have to check what that one is. It doesn't say here, and also didn't have it on their web page. And if I show you the CPU this way, so it is Intel Xeon E5 2680 V3 2.5 gigahertz. So they claim, they say CPU is rarely used, just have some scratch, as you can see, and they say that it does have 1 year warranty. So I wouldn't take up on that really. If it stops working, I would just move on. But yeah, you can try RMA, whatever. Okay, and then there is another NVMe SSD slot over here, as you can see, and there is 1, 2, 3 SATA ports, and this is the front panel. This is typical these days, that every single Chinese X99 whatever motherboard I'm getting, this is the color code. Simple, very simple. You can see the diagram online. That's a weird ass chip. Okay, and then there's the audio jack, sysfan, and JCOM, and USB, and another USB 3 header over here. So yeah, in the back side we have absolutely nothing. Okay, so yeah, this is the back side and this is the front. So that's pretty straightforward, right? There is the USB 3 header. I actually have one of those cables that you don't have to really have like full computer, but I will plug something into it. It gives me 2 USB 3 ports, and it does have another CPU power connector I need to connect. Yeah, 3 SATA, NVMe, and that's it. Okay, E5 2680. As I said, I didn't pay for RAM, but they say you can use 2400 server RAM ECC. We have to check. I don't know. So let's put that one aside. Let's go over this one. Same thing. Okay, and let's take this out. I'm gonna say even this is same, just the color of the cable is different, and they have these screws, and everything else looks identical, even the size maybe. So I'm gonna say these are white label produced stuff. So yeah, it looks very, very similar to this one, if not identical, isn't it? This looks identical. Not really. So here's the deal, here's the difference. So first of all, let me go through this one. So the same thing, power connector over here, the ATX, 3 SATA, the front panel, the USB 3 header, PCIe. This one also doesn't say the X, the speed and gen. Anyway, so there's a PCIe over here, X16. This one is probably X4. I'm I'm gonna say this is X4. Same with that one, X4. So this is NVMe SSD over here, and as you can see, they already populated the RAMs. So they didn't even ship it in a bag or anything. They inserted it. So yeah, it's let's see what the RAM is. So here is, oh man, that's 8 GB. So yeah, okay, I guess it's something. So 8 GB over here and 8 GB over there. Okay, and this is, doesn't say the speed, I'm looking, but it has to be 2400. Anyway, so don't expect much RAM that when they say they ship it with a RAM bundle. Okay, so this one does have a label. It says EVD over that, but it says EVD. I don't know, is that evidence? Whatever, what is that? I don't even know what that stands for. If I flip it over, it is, oh, this is a different CPU. So this one is E5 2676 V3. So this is a different CPU than that one, and yeah, so we have to check that. So the memory slots are 2, and this one, the ENVINDA claims you can put 128 GB of RAM in this, and yeah, so Ethernet and everything is identical to the other one. It is the gigabit Ethernet. It is USB 3 and USB 2 audio and PS2 keyboard and mouse. Yeah, dimensions, let me see. Yep, they are identical. Yeah. So definitely the same size. And if I measure it, let me see, let's go with centimeters. So this is 19 centimeters this way by, this is 216 millimeters, so 21.6 centimeters. So 216 millimeter by 119 millimeter. Okay, I don't know if that's some standard, I don't think so, but that's just the dimension of these things. So 2676 is 12 core to 24 threads and 2.4 gigahertz and goes up to 3, and this one is 2.5 gigahertz. Yeah, so this is 2680. It still does have 12 core and 24 threads, but this is 2.5 base, so that's 2.4 base. Okay, not much of a difference. So remember, QIYIDA is $47 but doesn't have a RAM. This one without RAM is $52. So if we want to do a fair comparison, we have to say this is $47, this is $53. So there is like $6-7 difference between these two, because you can get one without the RAM, right, and then put your own RAM, like just like the one I'm gonna do with this one, right? Let me connect these up. I'm gonna probably insert a 2060 NVIDIA card, and then let's see, there is like 2 NVMe slots on this one. This one is for Wi-Fi. Yeah, that one does not have, from what I can tell. Yeah, there is just one on this one. Okay, so the price difference is actually not just the RAM. So this one does have just one 2080 NVMe slot. This one have one over here and one over here, plus a Wi-Fi. So NVIDIA is more expensive, but for extra $6, this one have 2680 CPU. This one does have a 2676. So CPU is the difference, extra NVMe slot is the difference, Wi-Fi card slot is the difference. Seems like that's it, because both have 3 SATA and everything else looks identical, even the size and everything. If you give me a couple minutes, I am just going to set these up. I'm gonna take these away, and I'm gonna use one of those generic coolers that I used in other videos. So give me a couple minutes and I will be right back. I'll be right back. All right, so I think I wired up everything and I inserted an Ubuntu USB in it, and I'm gonna power it on. Right away, it jumped to 0.6. I forgot the power connector.
A few moments later.
Okay, now I connected the power connector and let's try. Okay, seems like it's booting. 109, 108, it's going 110. Oh, we see the QIYIDA. Okay, so we are in BIOS. So this is the typical BIOS that we've been seeing. Aptio setup utility X99. I inserted 4 RAM sticks, as you saw, 416, so 64 gigabyte, and we are seeing that in here. And actually, yeah, it's pretty neat. So hardware monitor, it's 27-28 degrees. Smart fan function, serial port, Ethernet, PCIe. It does have above 4G and resize bar and SRIOV support. So SRIOV would come handy if you want to install Proxmox and do a GPU and stuff pass through. PCIe Express, PCIe Gen 2, network stack, CSM, NVMe, USB, and IIO configuration. If you are watching my videos for a while, you know that this is where you have to do the bifurcation. Okay, so there is an option to do bifurcation as well for all the PCIe ports. It's typical, it's very typical of the other motherboards we have reviewed in this channel. It does have power management C state, P state, T states as well if you want to play around those. Oh, it already is on custom configured TDP. Okay, so they played around a little bit on this. I think it's on the custom mode by default. I didn't touch it, so this is how it arrived. And there is server ME. Okay, we also, if you're watching my videos, we always try to get rid of that ME thing. Oh, it also detected the 3 SSDs. As you see, I don't know if you can see it, but I put 3 8 terabyte NVMe SSDs I connected, and it is detecting that. So this looks, everything looks to be in order. Let me boot into the Ubuntu and let's do some benchmarking. Let's see if we can get rid of Intel ME and other stuff. Let's go into fast forward mode till I boot into Ubuntu. Okay, so we are back, and as you saw maybe in the fast forward mode, I installed a bunch of packages, and the first thing I can show you is the NeoFetch. Obviously it is up and running, Intel Xeon E5 2680. And then if we want to do a stress NG maybe. Okay, so the temperatures does not go above like the 40-50 degrees. I'm not sure if one of the viewers said that these Chinese motherboards in BIOS, they underreport the temperature. I'm not sure if that's true in this one, but yeah, this is not going. When I was doing like a full benchmark, it was not going to anything above like 50. So as we are here, and the score is 62,000. So 62,000 in this. And if we do a sysbench, again, the CPU usage 100%, and the temperatures go like 45-47. I have to say my room is cool. And also, by the way, the power consumption, so the score is 16,000. That's a little bit underwhelming. Keep in mind that 10,000 is the Raspberry Pi, so Raspberry Pi 5. So let me do it again. Yeah, so it jumps up to 175, 176, and we have a GPU as well, although it's not really doing much. So 100, and when it's idle it drops to 70 watts. 3 NVMe SSDs connected, GPU connected, and when it's idle and I'm not doing much, so I'm just moving around tabs and going to like a little bit, let's say surfing, I guess. Yeah, so it's going up to like 70-80, 70-80 to 90. So if we play, let's say, a YouTube video, I guess, yeah, 100, 110, 115, yeah, so 116. This is the range. Okay, so we are doing pretty okay, I guess, although I didn't install the drivers, so I just want to mainly show you the power consumption. So let's keep the video playing and do a sysbench on at the same time, and it jumps up to 180, 179, 180. Okay, so that seems to be the cap. So this 750 watt power supply is way overkill already, but this is it. And I don't think it does have a QIYIDA code -T. Yeah, I don't think it does have the eMMC in this, but I'm going to check. Okay, let's do the QIYIDA code. Okay, so this is it. So total width and data width is 72. They claim if you use registered ECC RAM, it might have ECC, but this is ECC RAM, by the way, but it doesn't have ECC on this one. So that being said, we did the sysbench, we did stress NG, and if we check the G parted, you will see that all 3 8 terabyte is detected. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so those are detected, and dev SDA. So let's do a benchmark on SDA one. So Okay, so we are getting kind of the SATA speeds, so 500 megabyte per second with those 8 terabyte Samsung SSDs. Okay, so this everything looks to be in order. Let me also very quickly do an Intel ME stuff. Okay, so we have the ME cleaner, and now I want to try the flash ROM. Okay, so seems like the first shot it's reading. So what I did was I just did flash rom-p internal, so it's reading from the internal chip and reading into bios.bin. Okay, so first try it just read it. And if we go to the ME cleaner, I keep forgetting the syntax, so here. And if I go to, okay, so we have the bios bin right there. Okay, and if we do Python, I think we have Python 3, yeah, Python 3, ME cleaner, so modify.bin and bios.bin. Okay, so it removed a lot of Intel ME stuff. The only two that were not removed are these two, so ROM and BUP. So these two are not removed, but it basically removed everything else in the Intel ME in this BIOS. So if you don't like it, you can easily now, if we do ls, you will see. So if I open up the original one, so if we just search BIOS, for instance, yeah, this is the, let me find it again. So this is the BIOS, as you can see, and we dumped it correctly, and it did have Intel ME, and ME cleaner gave us the modified binary, which is this one. Okay, and what I can do is I can say flash rom -p, again the internal chip, and this time instead of read we're gonna write, and we're gonna write modified.bin. Okay, and it's reading the old chip, then it's gonna flash the what I gave, and then it's gonna verify, and we should be good to go. So this seems like it's been like, this is probably the 7th Chinese motherboard that I'm getting that comes with this Xeon motherboard CPUs, and they all have Intel ME in the BIOS, and seems to be super straightforward to just use flash ROM to dump it, modify it with ME cleaner, and flash it back into the BIOS. There is no lock or write protection or anything to prevent us from doing this in all these Chinese motherboards. So that's good news. Okay, so that one worked. So this motherboard seems to be, you know, doing pretty well, and everything seems to be in order here. I don't see any issues. Obviously, you won't be able to install the Windows 11. It does not have a TPM, but Windows 10 would definitely work. So let's reboot and go back and just take a quick look at the BIOS and the Intel ME that we just removed and everything.
A few moments later.
Okay, I inserted Windows 11. First, I'm gonna check in the BIOS. I don't think there is the TPM enabled, but let's see. Okay, so we are back, and after doing that flash thing, obviously removing the Intel ME, it usually takes a long time. As you see, this one, so we removed it. It still shows, but it is disabled mostly, and yeah, it probably lost most of its functionality. So just so you see that, and if we check for TPM, I don't think there is a TPM. Yeah, I don't see it in here. I don't think I need to try it. I'm sure it's not going to work, but anyway, let's try it and see the error in Windows 11. I know there are some tricks that you can maybe try and override the TPM check. I would rather just use Windows 10, sorry. There you go. So it is complaining that there is no TPM chip, and Windows 10 would work, but Windows 11 would not work on this motherboard, just so you know. And yeah, everything else is pretty standard. So you can install Windows 10 on this. You can install, I don't know, Proxmox, TrueNAS. It's an x86 motherboard. There is nothing special about it. And CPU is Intel Xeon, and it is working. PCIe slot is working. Gigabit Ethernet is working. The RAM is working. So basically for $47, you get this motherboard. Okay, let me turn it off. Okay, so for $47, what else you would need if you really wanted to turn this into a gaming motherboard? So what else you would need, and I'm checking the temperatures. Nah, it's all cool. So you're gonna need a GPU. So like this is a 2060 Zotac, I think. This is just something I keep using for these videos. I have other cards too, but yeah, it doesn't matter. You can use 2080 maybe better with this. 30 series would be overkill, and you just need need the RAM. So I installed, as I said, 416, so 64 gigabyte. Not sure if you really need it. Yeah, it comes with CPU and the motherboard and seems to be working. The only thing is the CPU is used and they claim there is a 1-year warranty, but I wouldn't take up on that. And also there are alternatives on eBay. You can replace that CPU with some other CPU. You don't really have to use it. I'm not sure if QIYIDA does that, but one of these two were not even offering their motherboard without CPU. So you had to use, but yeah, SATA ports worked, by the way. Everything worked, honestly. Everything worked. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. Let's go into fast forward mode. Okay, so pause here. First trouble with this motherboard. If you are using a graphics card like this much, it's not even big, this SATA port is unusable. It is just hitting here. So I have to remove this SATA port, unfortunately. And then and only then I can actually insert it. Okay, so keep that in mind. Basically, yeah. Trouble number one with this motherboard, if you use graphics card, one SATA port is gone. You can't really use it. I don't think you can. Maybe you can use one of those angled SATA ports and maybe start use it that way. But regular connection and regular cable, I don't think you can. You need angled one. But yeah, it's pretty tight over there. So I didn't install my own RAM, 64 gigabyte RAM. I am going to go with what vendor shipped. I just want to see how their stuff is working. And if needed, I can replace the RAM. But let's try what they are shipping it with. And this is the power consumption and it's already on. Let's press the button. All right. I should have flipped the fan out of the way. Doesn't matter. Let's go to BIOS. We see a similar power consumption on this one as well. 110. Oh, that. I think this one loaded faster. First BIOS, I think. We'll see. So when I rebooted, the other one took a while. That mainly because I disabled Intel ME. But anyway, X99KR002, near identical. These are white labeled motherboards. Probably one company just makes them and they are shipping it to customers with different labels and brands. Yeah. Realtek, these are all hardware monitor. Okay, this is reporting lower. I am not sure if that's accurate or not. It's way too low. 16, really? I am a little bit skeptical, but we'll see. PCIe stuff, yeah, this one also have above 4G, SRIOV. This one also have IIO configuration, IIO stuff where you can do bifurcation. Oh, this one also have server ME debug and ME configuration. So here the stuff which is not even visible, but yeah, they have some stuff in here. PC Edge. Okay, so yeah, it is very similar to the other one so far. Yeah, it only detected one SATA, or actually wait, no, here. Yeah, so it detected both hard drives, and yeah, this one is also seems to be in order, at least so far. Let me very quickly put into Ubuntu. Okay, so we are booted and let's do a new fetch. There you go. So this one is Xeon E5 2676 and it's also 24 threads, but let's see how it scores in Stress NG. Okay, let's go. Okay, so just like the other one, this seems to be a little bit too low for the temperatures. Yeah, same score, almost same score, 61,000. This is better a little bit. And Sysbench, let's see the Sysbench. And watch the power consumption as well. This is 160 watts and this is a little bit faster, more powerful. Okay, so this one is 16,000, not really. So same and maybe even lower. So 42 degrees, 49 is the cap. Same was on the other one, 49. It never, 50 was the maximum temperature it hit, but I don't believe it somehow. I don't know. It looks too low. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe my cooler is killing it. Maybe my room is too cool. It is actually right now. So it is 71 Fahrenheit. So it's not really that cold, but that's the number I'm getting. And I forgot to do iPerf on the other one. Let me just do, I know it's a gigabit Ethernet. It's not much, but I just want to make sure that it is actually, you know, gigabit. So, okay. So yeah, it is a gigabit Ethernet is really gigabit. Sysbench score is 16,000. And what was the Stress NG one? That was also something 61. So that's 61,000 on the Stress NG. Okay, and the temperatures really do not go above 49. And power consumption, let's see, when you play a YouTube video, which actually when I play YouTube video, the drivers are not installed. I don't think it is going to use the GPU, but anyway, so let's see. Okay, as video plays, I am going to run the stress sysbench as well, and power consumption is 160 watts. So yeah, it's not really high, and 150 went up. Okay, so 150, 160, I guess it goes up to when you're running some, you're playing some video, 170 when you're using stress ng, I guess. So yeah, that's the range, 180. And the other test I wanted to make sure is the SATA speeds and the fact that if they are working at up to SATA speeds. So yeah, 180 watts. Let's do an HD Parm test very quick. Oh, so that one is a letdown. That's a little bit slow. Why? Let me see. Okay, yeah. So the SATA speeds on this one is slower. Keep that in mind. It does have this NVMe SSD slot. Maybe that's where you're losing it. But yeah. And also, by the way, these two PCIe slots are way too close. You cannot really insert anything in this one. It is just right next to the graphics card. You need a tiny or a Razer cable, okay? And you need all that Razer and everything for just an X4. I don't know if it is worth it. And what are you going to put in there? I don't know. Maybe 10 gigabit Ethernet thing. Maybe. I don't know. But it looks very, very tight in there. NVMe SSD I'm going to try. But yeah, I forgot to put it in there. I will try that just to make sure. But the SATA speeds are lower on this one. Just keep that in mind. That's the difference. That's the difference. Actually, this is more expensive one. What the hell? So yeah, this is the other one. This is the more expensive one. So I guess they split the IO a different way, or use the slower chip, whatever. So the SATA is slower on this, but it does have extra NVMe slot, whatever you prefer. So Gparted, let me make sure that they are there. Yeah, so both are there. Okay, anyway, that being said, let me see if I can read it and also do Intel ME on this one as well. Okay, so let's read it with flash ROM. Okay, this one is same. As I said, I'm kind of sure one company is producing these and they're just white labeling these motherboards with a little bit tweaks and differences for these companies, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. They look so similar, but yeah, bios.bin. And if we go full screen on this, if we search for a BIOS, yeah, very similar and near identical to the other one. So we dumped the BIOS. That's definitely the BIOS image. And if I go back to here and the syntax that I keep forgetting, okay, Python 3, ME cleaner, SO modified, and that bin, and that's the bias.bin. Okay, this one is more actually. So this one had a lot more stuff in it. There is nothing to remove here, and the only thing it did not remove is the FTPR partition. Other than that, it removed everything and gave me a new image, and I am going to flash that back. Flash ROM -p internal and the right modified that bin. Let's go. Yeah, so this one is also working fine. The CPU works fine. The RAM is, by the way, the RAM is what they shipped. So if I go to DMI decode HT17, right? Okay. So this is, so there is no two or not populated. Okay, so it is same. So it does have two 8GB RAMs on it, and both are working fine, but no ECC, but working fine. And by the way, it was successful. We flashed back the modified Intel ME removed BIOS image back to the BIOS. So yeah, this one also doesn't have TPM, so no Windows 11. Oh man, I just noticed it. That's 1333. That sucks. Okay, I'm gonna just say, don't buy RAM from these guys. It's small and it's slow. Just ignore. If you want this motherboard, I would just get it without RAM. Maybe without even CPU, I don't know. You can get the CPUs from eBay, you can get the RAMs from eBay if you want, but the motherboard itself is like $40, $43, whatever, and that should be enough. So this seems to be a great deal, honestly. I don't see any obvious issues with it other than the fact that this PCIe slot is too tight and it's not usable much. SATA is slow in this one. one. The other one, SATA, was okay. Let me grab that. So yeah, this is the QIYIDA one. Had a better performance on the SATA speeds, but it just have one NVMe slot. And this one is actually a little bit better spaced out. You see, there is some better spacing in here, and it's on the edge of the board almost, whereas this one is in the middle. So that is too tight. This is better. So this one comes with no RAM, which is good. I don't want the RAM. And it comes with a CPU and motherboard for $47. Just one NVMe slot, which is fine. This is a little bit better space, and overall I like this one more. Gigabit Ethernet sucks, but it is what it is. These motherboards are $40, so you have to accept that. And also I see comments from people, you know, they are saying, you know, the support going to suck and it's gonna die fast and all that stuff. I get it. That's the price, right? That's what you're paying for. You're paying $40, that's what you get. Forget about support, you're not gonna get it. And I just noticed that there's BIOS chip is already marked here, and it's easy to spot. So yeah, you can clean up the ME from this. BIOS is open. You can delete and flash whatever you want. The RAMs, I populated all 4 slots. It worked. I've inserted graphics card. It worked. Everything seems to work. In this one, this is better. $47. This is a good deal. I would say this is a good deal. That one is okay. Definitely don't get the RAM. It's not worth it. If you want to get that, and it should be fine, I guess. So let me reboot and make sure that I didn't break this motherboard. Oh, this one is actually very much faster. I can tell you that. So if we go back here in the server ME stuff, okay, it was like this before too, so I guess we removed some stuff, so it is fine. We removed the Intel server ME, and it's working and no problems whatsoever. So yeah, this is up and running, no issues. What I'm gonna do is, just to make sure you guys, I'm sure you guys gonna ask me, so I'm gonna put 2 NVMe SSD and make sure those also work. Give me a couple minutes, I will be right back.
One eternity later.
Okay, so as you can see, I put a 2 terabyte here, 1 terabyte here. Now I am going to put everything back and then see if it boots and if both ports work. Okay, power on, turn it on. Okay, so we are back. As you can see, it detected the NVMe, just one of them, just the 2 terabyte one, the one that is on the far side, I mean closer to CPU. The one that's on the edge of the motherboard, it is not even getting detected. So you can't really say this one, just because I have a 2 NVMe slots, is doing better, and the PCIe slot is too close. Yeah, my vote is clear. I am going to just say this one is better. The QIYIDA one is better. At least it does have 1 NVMe slot and it just works. That one, I don't even know what it is trying to do, because it's not working. And if we do a very quick speed test on that, yep, that's very good. That's very good. That's what I wanted to see, and it's very good. So yeah, speed is awesome and it is working, but just 1 slot. The second one does not work. Okay, same thing in here. Similar speeds you get on this slot on this motherboard, and it doesn't have the second one, but whatever it does have, it works. And the SATA ports are away from the PCIe slot, as you can see. So if you put a graphics card, all 3 ports can be kept and can be populated easily. With that one, you need a bent cable. So, and also the PCIe on this one is much on the edge, and you can use something small with this one at least, but that one is unusable. So yeah, my vote is this QIYIDA $47 motherboard and CPU combo. I just wanted to share with these 2 motherboards with you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. I will try to answer all your questions here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.